And you found the quick review, and so this is variables on both sides. We're solving equations and we're solving them with variables on both sides. Your first goal is as quickly as you can get all the variables on the same side. Now before we're going to do that, we have to do this distribution. And remember, you have to multiply before you add, so this -2 has to be distributed first. -2 times 8, -16. -2 times a -4n is a +8n. Let me use my color here on my variable. All right, I still have the 4 out front. I still have the equal sign. I've got this 3, the -5. Let me go back and put my n in. Okay? Again, do your work down. Now notice I have 3n on the left and 8n on the right. So I either need to add -8n to both sides and get my variables on the left, or add a -3n to both sides and get my variables on the right. I always like to make my variable positive. It really is your choice, but I like to make it positive. And again, how do you move a variable? You add its opposite. So what's the opposite of 3n? A -3n. What do I do to one side? I do the other side of the equal sign, right? I'm on both sides of my equal sign. My left becomes -5 equals, hey, I can do some adding of like terms right now. 4 positives, 16 negatives, 12 negatives. And now I'm going to add up my variables. 8 of them minus 3 of them leaves me 5 n's. Okay, now from here it's isolate the variable. It's just like equations we've done before. Let's move the 12 by adding a +12 to both sides. All right, left-hand side, 5 negatives, 12 positives, leaves me 7 positives. And now again, whenever you have a whole number times the variable, you can simply divide both sides by that value. And we end up with 7/5 equals n. But the key is when you have variables on both sides, as quickly as you can, you want to move all your variables to one side. That will establish the side of your variable, and therefore you know what to move. All right, quickly, a couple special cases. Notice in this first example, we have the same amount on both sides. If I add a -4x to both sides, guess what happens? That's 0, and that's 0, and they're gone. Here's where I end up. -5 equals -5. Do you remember the special case when the variable disappears and what you get is true? If what you get is true, then the answer is all the real numbers. And you can try it no matter what number you put in for x. The left side will equal the right side. Everything works. So what's the second situation? The second situation is, again, you have the same quantity on both sides. Notice that that adds up to a 6a. Whenever you have the same thing on both sides, it divides out. Now, though, when we're done, we get a -5 equals a 1, and that is false. And what's the solution on this? Nothing. The null set. There is no solution. No matter what number you try for the a, it's not going to work. Put 0 in for the a, doesn't work. Put 2 in for the a, doesn't work. Put 7 in for the a, doesn't work. So notice two differences. The top one, what's left is true. Every number works. The bottom one, what's left is false. No number works. Hey, that's the idea. Variables on both sides.